You get a bag. You get a bag. You get a lawsuit. You get a lawsuit. You get a claim. You get a new interview. And you get a new spotlight. You get a book deal. All of it is on the table, man. Would I be contradicting myself from yesterday's stream when I started off saying we are naive to believe that the ripple effect of the Diddy verdict is going to slow down? And then get to today's stream and say, I'm shocked. I'd be contradicting myself, right? Even though the title says, getting ridiculous now. Is Superhead so a Diddy? Man, oh man, oh man. So I watched the DJ Vlad, Tony Busby, and Karrine Steffans on Piers Morgan yesterday. We're going to check that out together. All right. We're going to do some reaction to that. But before I get anywhere near that, we're going to walk. We're going to take a look into Karrine Steffans. We're going to pull up some of her past. We're going to pull up some of the effects of her, who she is, what she was, what she did. And we're going to tie it into some of the things that she's saying in the Piers Morgan interview, right? And then after that, what are we going to do? We're going to take a look at Nicki Minaj. What's going on with Nicki Minaj and Jay-Z and Rockefeller? It's been brewing for a long time, right? But there's some new big accusations that she's putting out there publicly. We're going to pull that up. Then after that, I'm going to move into battle rap. Okay, as promised, more battle rap on the channel. You see Serius Jones and Math Hoffa in the thumbnail. So if you're not up to speed with that, you will be by the time we get there. But I have an interesting twist to it, something a little bit different than I think you guys that are in the loop may have been seeing on the internet so far. So, all right, shout out to the whole chat coming in the building, man. I see y'all. Oh, y'all here this morning. Okay, good morning, 6 a.m. crew. Shout out to the 6 a.m. crew. Shout out to the entire SARS True podcast chat. Shout out to the green team, the members. Shout out to the mods, man. I appreciate y'all. Jay is here. I see you. Between Rounds TV, our member is here. Okay. Who else? Jonathan is here. Archetype is here. Yeah, members in the building. Big Yellow 317 is here. Our guy Kelson is here. Clifton is here. Green team is in the building. Bequeeze is here. Who else we got? Rizzle is here. Okay, Hustle Boy is here. The green team is in the building, man. Brett is here. Free Money TV is here. I never asked you about this damn name, Free Money TV. Where you get that from, man? Don't be bringing no conspiracies over to our podcast. We don't need that shit, all right? There's enough lawsuits and averbs walking around the earth right now. I don't need no free. I work for all mine. I earn all mine. Don't get us indicted. Don't get us no civil lawsuits over here. What the fuck you mean free money? There's no such thing, okay? Don't get us in trouble, B. Tom being our members in the building. Billy X Bones, our members in the building. Yeah, members is heavy today, man. Shout out to the whole green team, man. I see y'all, man. I see y'all. I'm with you, G. I'm with you. Now you got to pass over here. We good. We got decent lawyers. I don't got no Alex Spiros, but we got decent lawyers over here. All right, y'all ready? We 3 minutes in. Let's get to work. Karrine Steffans, aka Superhead. Y'all know who Superhead is? Who is Superhead to me? Like, if you just ask me randomly, like, yo, ARP, who's Superhead? I'm gonna be like, shit. First of all, I never had the opportunity to try, but and a lot of people know what I'm talking about. All right, my background with because you had to be there during these times. This was like hip hop golden era heyday type of Hype Williams days where $5 million budgets were going up for music videos, right? Music videos back then, video vixens birthed a whole new career within hip hop. Like, you could be a DJ, you could be a rapper, you could be a hype man, you could be a music producer and a beat maker, and you could also be a video vixen. It was a fucking career within itself. Remember the DVD of what was it, Gloria Velez and Joe Button? That's how the Mano. Oh man, my mind is all over the place. I remember all this shit. That's how the Mano and the Joe Button back and forth kind of started. Because when Mano came out, he was doing a bunch of songs that were edgy. You know, same way he followed the 50 Cent blueprint, the How to Rob. He did the High Haters. He did the song Rumors. And in the song Rumors, he talked about Joe on camera admitting to going down on Gloria. He's like, in the video. And then Joe responded on track, and here goes their friction, right? But video vixens, the Gloria Velez's of the world, right? Even Melissa Ford, who is now on the Joe Button podcast, right? And Karrine Steffans, Superhead, she was one of them. And I can keep going and going and going and going and going. Esther Baxter, that was with Joe Button. Joe Button, you stay with the video vixens, huh? With the history. Esther Baxter, by the way. We could actually name these girls because they had names, they had careers, they were out there, they were doing interviews, they were at the forefront. If you go watch Nelly's tip drill video, you might see 80% of them. Classic video, by the way. Anybody with me? Who was there? And knows what I'm talking about right now. Okay. So to me, this is where Karrine Steffans came from. Now, she developed a reputation within the industry amongst many, 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 many rappers for how good her head was, right? Oh, yeah, there's a piece that I'm missing because Karrine Steffans does a lot of interviews talking about or trying to dumb down her past. She also had super duper viral porn videos. Okay. She was also doing porn. Mr. Marcus was the guy's name. Okay. Yeah. We all remember who was there. Superhead has multiple porn videos out as well. Okay. So Video Vixen, porn videos, was known behind the scene for how good her head was. Many of us got to see with our own eyes if you didn't get a chance to get with her because once again, she was doing videos a lot of people wanted to see. I wanted some grown ass, but I ain't gonna lie. Everybody, Superhead, my favorite rappers talk about Superhead. I want to, I can't get to it. What the fuck? Your curiosity kills the cat. You put the video on, you be like, yeah, she's kind of talented. Keep it at 1,000. Don't lie to yourselves in this overly homophobic world today. Don't lie to your fucking selves, people. Okay. The historic lyric from Jadakiss. Got a chick named Superhead. She gives Superhead. Just moved in the building. Even gave the Superhead. I got super guns that spit super lead. So play super, end up super dead. Remember? That's where it's all buzzing from. And at the time, you best believe that Superhead capitalized on those lyrics from Jadakiss. Top 5 Dead or Alive is on one of the biggest hit songs out at that time, rapping that shit. Oh, yeah, she used it. Oh, yeah, she used it. One of the most notable things that follows her, though, all the way to today is not just her name, Superhead, and the reputation that she had in the industry from back in the day, but the book that she wrote, Confessions of a Video Vixen. Okay. That book, it stirred up a lot of controversy, obviously amongst the men in the industry, because you got men out there that are married, got girlfriends, don't want to be seen, that, they running around with this video vixen behind the scenes or whatever. But she exposed a lot of people in this book and mentioned a lot of people in this book. So that's the first thing that we're going to bring up, people. Take a look at it. If you don't remember it, if you wasn't there during these times, or if you've never seen this before, New York Times bestseller, Karrine Steffans, Confessions of a Video Vixen, reads like a who's who of urban music. Miss Steffans is the first to pull back the covers on the hip hop industry. That is the quote from New York Times. Let's be clear. We're not going to now get to today and let the Karrine Steffans of the world change what happened at the actual times when we were there. This was a moment of expose. Okay? Be clear, people. This is the godmother. The Brittany Renners of the world, allegedly, in my opinion, they're all children and grandchildren and daughters of this woman right here, Karrine Steffans, aka Superhead. Okay? All right, let's continue. Confessions of a Video Vixen, bonus material inside. All right, so I'm gonna scroll. I'm not trying to bring the whole book up or nothing like that. But I did glance for y'all real quick. There was an introduction I want you guys to see. All right, look at the contents. Death and life, the sins of a mother, flower off the bloom, on the run, the great escape, the beginning of the end, breaking away, fire and ice, pain is love, around the block, around the block, video girl, a man apart, Mr. Big, Miami Advice, I Choose Life, Dog Eat Dog World, Superhead, ushering in. Is that a play on Usher's name? Bonus material. Epilogue. Okay. All right. The no shame in my game. Is this the piece? Yeah, let me read this and then we're going to move on. The no shame in my game introduction. Like so many young girls, I grew up wanting to be famous. I used to watch television and dream about the Beverly Hills lifestyle seen in all of my favorite films. I wanted to live below that Hollywood sign and drive down Sunset Boulevard over Mulholland Drive in a Mercedes Benz while wearing a designer scarf and huge black sunglasses. I wanted to be known by the rich and famous and to be seen lunching with the in crowd. I wanted to live where they lived and do what they do. I wanted to belong. I reached most of my goals, but I didn't do it in a conventional way. I did it using the oldest trick in the book, sex. I am not always proud of what I did, and there are things that I would do over if I could, but I made the best out of what I started with an abusive mother and an absent father. Okay. So she's admitting in the introduction of her book that all the things she wanted while she was growing up, the luxury car, want to be in the in crowd, I want to be in Beverly Hills, I want to drive down this road, and I want to be under the Hollywood sign and all this stuff. I got there, not in the conventional way from hard work or whatever. Well, maybe it was some at times hard work for her, but I got there from sex, right? The oldest job in history, damn near. One of the oldest professions, and not necessarily always looked at as a profession with absolute dollar for dollar pay, but sex, right? Right there off rip, admitted in the introduction of her book. So no. We're not going to get, I don't care if it's 20 years later, 30 years later, we're not going to change the narrative. We're not going to do that. Try that with somebody else that's going to interview today, like a Piers Morgan, and not go back and look at all this stuff and remember who he's sitting down with. No. Okay. Let's pull this up to, you know what? Real quick, let me try this for y'all. Let me just pull this up. I'm gonna pull up. I had it in my search history. There we go. A list of men that she exposed. Let's pull this up on screen real quick. Because we're not going to read the book, obviously, but oh my God, when I tell you the names that was in her book, Karrine Steffans' autobiography, Confessions of a Video Vixen, names several men with whom she had sexual relationships with or detailed controversial encounters. The list of men mentioned in the book includes, but not limited to, Puffy. That's the very first one. Stay with me as we continue to get into the Diddy topic. DMX, Exhibit, Jay-Z, Ja Rule, Dr. Dre, Ice-T. You take some of these guys right now, you take either what they have right now or their estates, because people like DMX are passed, of course, rest in peace. And you got billions and billions of dollars just by looking at Diddy and Jay-Z and Dr. Dre, Ice-T, Bobby Brown, Usher. Didn't I tell you that Usher might have been a play on words in the table of contents? Shaq, Shaquille O'Neal, Vin Diesel, Irv Gotti. And there's so much. There's Bow Wow, there's Mystical, there's LL Cool J, there's her baby's father, Cool G Rap. There's probably 30 people that's not listed in the list that we just brought up on screen. No bullshit. When you're talking about peeling the covers back from the fucking industry, she went crazy. And I just read the names. Like, if you look at some of the words next to this shit, let's go to Jay-Z. Steffans recounts an encounter with Jay-Z in his car, detailing a sexual act. Dr. Dre. Steffans admits to sleeping with Dr. Dre. Ice-T. She describes him as an easy to fleece sugar daddy. Usher. She characterized him as a cocky, disrespectful jerk. Shaquille O'Neal. Steffans describes him as a very generous but disappointingly in depth. Whatever. Vin Diesel. She also admits to having sexual relationships with the actor. Irv Gotti. Steffans discusses, rest in peace. Steffans discusses having a rekindled affair with him and details conversations surrounding Diddy's behavior. Okay. It's a lot going on here, ain't there? And like I said, that's just really tip of the iceberg. Back then, let's take a look at some of the peaks and bounds that Karrine Steffans is reaching from having a book, from sucking off people and fucking people. And then, oh, here's a huge one I forgot to mention. My bad. One of her most publicly known, longest running industry relationships, damn near boyfriend, girlfriend, publicly perception wise, Lil Wayne. They was in love. Publicly stated, right? I'm gonna say allegedly for all this type of shit, but Lil Wayne. Anyway, the blueprint that she was laying to sleep with them, give them good head, write a book, do interviews, do some video vixen stuff to start out. The blueprint that she laid, dare I say, it corrupted a lot of fucking women and had a lot of women thinking that this is the way to get on. Right? Dare I say, once again, the godmother of this shit. But let's go back to when she's at, once again, her peak.
Some women cannot get enough of men who have power, who have money and influence. But when it comes to celebrities, some women get sucked into a world of star obsession that they cannot resist. My first guest is the author of the controversial New York Times bestseller, Confessions of a Video Vixen.
Karrine Steffans may not be a household name, but if you watch hip-hop videos, you may feel you know her at least by sight.
I just remember growing up and wanting to be in Hollywood, all the stars were.
But when she went public with her story as a hip-hop arm charm, she revealed a lot more than skin. The result was Confessions of a Video Vixen, a tell-all book that landed Karrine on the New York Times bestseller list. And in a lot of hot water with some of the biggest celebrities in music and in Hollywood.
I've had intimate relationships with a lot of people in the industry, famous actors, directors, musicians, NFL.
She's making news, she's naming names.
Jack was a very generous man. Josh stayed with me for a year. Ice-T put me in that condo, and Finn Diesel brief with him. The Four Seasons, Beverly Hills Hotel, Mertage, Polo Lounge, Debbie, the Bel Air, living it up. Artists always like me because I made that particular scene really hot. I had celebrity relationships, and I would use those to get the jobs because I needed that $2,500 a day to pay my $5,000 worth of bills.
And when the camera was turned off, it seemed her posturing for fame was not. And Kiss and Tell Karrine generated a new kind of heat in the press.
I don't know, Karrine, you have entered a lot of folks and a lot of folks' lives. I think a lot of people are uncomfortable, but the things that I left out are way bigger than the things that I put in.
But you keep running from stuff. Like, I wasn't even gonna get at you like that. You know what I mean? But you got problems.
You can't keep running.
But this video vixen makes no apologies for outing her famous lovers. Some were husbands or fathers. She says it's her story to tell. And as for the men who paid for her life in the fast lane, she says she's kept their secrets long enough.
I just told the truth, and there's a good feeling knowing that you told the truth.
Please welcome Karrine Steffans to the show.
Kept their secrets long enough.
I read your book from cover to cover, and I know that you named a lot of names. Why don't you tell us some of the people that you name in the book?
Well,
She got a big round of applause, didn't she? Just think about the perception of this is how you can get to a spot like this. This is how you can get on the couch with Tyra Banks. Oh, this is how you can make maybe millions of dollars, drive the Mercedes, live in Beverly Hills, get next to all these celebrities that we watch on TV. Wow, you see that applause that she?
I just want to say, too, it's not a tell-all. I left a lot of things out for a lot of good reasons.
It's a tell a lot.
It's a tell some. It's not even a lot.
Okay.
It's just a small part. They're the names that you all know. There's the Ja Rules and the Vin Diesels, the Shaquilles. I don't know, whoever.
And you're saying you had sex with all the men that you just named?
Yes.
So why did you write this book?
Well, initially when I started writing the book, it was for my own purpose. I had gone through a lot. Because the book isn't about sex, it's not about hip hop, it's not about rappers. It's about my journey from being an abused child to being raped as a young child to being, going through spousal abuse, a young mother, and then getting into that, and then having to, almost dying with a drug overdose, and then once I began to heal myself, close to about 4 years ago, I really had to figure out what happened to me in order for me to heal. I had to admit it to myself what I did.
But you had to know that naming the names and talking about the sexual exploits is what was going to put the book, at the top of New York's best-selling list. I mean, it's number 5 on the best-selling list in New York Times.
Yeah, it is. And we're number 3 at the Washington Post, and we're also in the Wall Street Journal and all major markets. But honestly, that part was a surprise to me. And I didn't know that. All I knew was that I had to tell the stories that were relevant to my life, and everyone is named. Mm-hmm. And it's funny to me how everyone is so concerned about naming the celebrities, but no one is concerned about me naming the man that raped me when I was 13 and how his life is going to be now. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so it just shows me that we're in a celebrity hypnotized society.
But you were hypnotized by
Look, can I just do a quick call back? I don't want to kill y'all with the Tyra Banks interview. Remember when I said, here's an interesting angle and perspective for y'all. When we're talking about Brittany Renner, she transformed, in my opinion, allegedly, to what Kevin Gates needed temporarily. She had the whole Muslim garb and attire, etc. And I said, I'm gonna give her about 12 months, and that's gonna come off, right? Her marriage, from what I think we saw, lasted with Kevin Gates or whatever for like 2 months. And my 12-month prediction was way the fuck off. She just needed a couple weeks. And now we already see Brittany Renner right back, hair out, no more Muslim attire, whatever, posting for the gram, trying to be dialed up, looking for one of you next victims and idiots. And they're lining up. And I said, here's another interesting angle. The superheads and the Brittany Renners of the world, they have more game than most of the guys they are entertaining or are entertaining them. They have more, they're charismatic, they're well-spoken, they're very manipulative, and they're smart. And the visual piece of it is already done because they're attractive, they have nice bodies, pretty faces, dialed up, long, whatever, right? And then God forbid, you get a reputation for having the best head in the world. And then just add on to the fact that if you do cross one of these chicks at an industry party, or you meet her, or the other rapper puts you onto it, says, yo, guess what? Because we're going to get to a piece in the Piers Morgan thing where they're saying allegedly the Gottis of the world were passing her around as a party favor, right? Once you cross paths with these people, if you have any conversation before you hit the bedroom, she will draw you in. Karrine Steffans actually would have been sought out at this time period, not just because she wrote that book and just because she was exposing the hell out of the industry, but she's an interesting interviewee. You could sit her down and have a good conversation with her, and she will draw you in, right? Those are the Brittany Renners, and those are the Karrine Steffans of the world. And a lot of y'all got caught up in them spider webs. Hey, I'm not even hating on that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just calling it out. All right, let's move on. Let's move a little bit more modern day. I had to go reference King before we got into the Piers Morgan, the whole, the deep piece of the interview and current day, what I saw yesterday. All right, what you got going on here?
How do you feel about the superhead name that's kind of followed you around for all these years?
I didn't make it up.
Who made it up?
Nobody made it up. It was in a Jadakiss song.
Right.
I'm not gonna suck a dick unless I'm gonna do it great. I'm not gonna write a book unless I'm gonna do it great. I'm not gonna cook a meal unless I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna touch anything unless I plan on doing it better than anyone else you've ever met in your entire life.
Right. How do you feel about the superhead name that's kind of?
Let's make sure you didn't contradict yourself a lot of us real quick. You didn't do that, did you, Karrine? Because that was a little bit more modern Vlad TV days, right? This was a more older interview when she got asked a similar question, no?
Superhead is a moniker that I gave myself in a personal relationship of mine that I had with an artist, and it was a joke between us based on our love life, and it was all of those things. But unfortunately, it got out, and once it got out, it got misunderstood. I'm not saying it's not true.
Superhead was a word between you two, or
just between us. It's something that I came up with between us. It was funny to us. It was meaningful.
All right, so there she took responsibility for creating it. So somebody's lying. Which one of those is true? All right, cool, Karrine, cool. Let's go to another modern, more current day video of her. See if she's still on any similar time. Be careful, guys. They out there. Play.
Yeah, yo, look who I found, my nigga. Yeah, yo.
Hi, babe.
Yeah, yo, she said she never had her toes sucked the way you sucked the toes.
In my life. It was the best toe sucking of all time. The best part is that he didn't even take my shoes off. He just sucked my toes in the Gucci shoes, which shows dedication, purpose, and promise.
Yeah, yo, look who I...
Hey, yo, is she lying on you, bruh? I don't know. Who cares, right? Let's continue. Still on similar time, though, right? Seems similar. There's more current day versus the past. And this is what I mean about when people put on a certain type of face for the interview, you got to look past the mask. These are very manipulative, charismatic, smart women. They didn't just luck up in these positions. There's a million people that follow Karrine Steffans' footsteps, but not many people get to these heights. There has to be some actual intelligence and talent to it. And I'm not just talking about the head talent. Real shit. But when the cameras is off or the big cameras is off, modern day, she's still carrying similar energy, isn't she? Isn't she? I'm just pointing out the clear manipulation, unless y'all not seeing it. All right. I think this is a little bit from the book audio wise. And now we're starting to move a little bit more into Diddy and the title.
Gotti said, "Give me the address." I didn't understand why Gotti didn't let me go with Diddy right then, but we took the address and got back in the limo. We went back to L'Hermitage, and after we took more ecstasy, Gotti was tearing away at my clothes. Gotti had a strange bedside manner. He would get rough at times, which I could handle when we were high. He also liked to compare himself to other men. He would want to know how they were built and how they had sex. He wanted to know if I liked Diddy and if I was going to sleep with him when I got over there. "You gon' f him good, huh?" Gotti asked. I just wanted him to hurry and shut up so I would make my way to Canyon Drive to meet up with Diddy. Gotti set me on my way and gave me a key to his room so I wouldn't wake him when I returned. It was 4 a.m. when I pulled up at Diddy's home in my SUV. There were security guards in the driveway, all of them dressed in dark suits with their hands clasped in front of them. They stood at attention, waiting for me to approach the gate. They had been expecting me, and they let me in the gate and into the house through the garage. I stood in the hallway, waiting for Diddy. My body was hot as the drugs and alcohol continued to feed off of each other. After just a few minutes, Diddy greeted me and showed me to the nearest bedroom, where Farnsworth Bentley had been sleeping. Diddy woke him and gestured to him to leave the room. My guess was that there was someone else upstairs in Diddy's room, and that this was to be my first and final destination within the home. "So who is Gotti to you?" he asked. "And is he cool with this?"
Pillow
"Gotti's
talking.
my boy," I said. "When I see something I want, he lets me have it." So with that slight formality out of the way, Diddy and I spent the next 15 minutes or so engaging in the usual. After the experience, he said, "You are one of the best." I said the same to him when, in actuality, he was average. Our sexual encounter was pretty straightforward, nothing out of the ordinary. Before I left, he asked me to meet him back at the house the next morning around 11:30 for brunch. I emphatically accepted and traveled back to L'Hermitage and to Gotti, who was asleep. I crawled into bed and fell asleep beside him. The next morning...
Damn. Talking about bouncing around, right? I'm going to lay up next to you after getting... Wait, so you bring me there, you send me there, I lay up with him, I leave here, come back, I fall asleep with you, and I wake up in the morning, I head back over there for brunch. This is her own words. No, this is not her own words. Okay. Now let's have some fun. Let's get to the Piers Morgan new interview with good old Karrine Steffans, aka Superhead, and also featured in this interview will also bleed into the parts of Vlad and Tony Busby coming on. But I hope I put that together for y'all so that when we can land current today, everybody is... I've already put us in a kind of caught up spot. All right. Because we're not going to let the Karrine Steffans of the world come jump on Piers Morgan and let us not rehash who this person actually is. Okay, let's go.
A lot of people are kind of aware of your history with Diddy, but for those who know nothing about it, how would you categorize your time with him?
My time with Sean was honestly pleasant in the beginning.
I'm in full reaction mode now, people. So sorry if y'all haven't seen it, but there will be breaks. Ain't it funny, fellas? Ain't it funny how when a woman wants to really put out there that she knows you personally past what the world knows you as, she always wants to go to your first name or your real government? You know, Piers Morgan's up there. So tell her blah, blah, blah about Diddy. She's like, well, my thing was Sean. They do that shit all the time, man. All the fucking time. It's just like, that's like, on the low, ladies, you're back. Like, I'm not stupid. That's one of your claiming, putting it out there on the radar type of things. Like, no, I have more of an intimate position than what you guys have. You guys do it. Fess up. It's cool.
To my recollection, the first time we met, we spent the night together. But he was a consummate gentleman with me in that evening, again, to my recollection. And every other time I saw him after that was in a group setting, so it was fine. The last time I saw him, however, things had taken a bit of a turn. It was after Confessions of a Video Vixen, my first book had been published, and he was seething when he saw me at Prince had a party at his house, and we were there, of course, before Prince died, and he was scowling at me the whole night, and
I don't even know that word. She said he was seething when he saw me. You got it, shorty. I'm warning y'all. Be careful when you cross paths with some of these women. I don't even know what that word means. Seething.
I found it amusing, but he was obviously very angry with me by that point in our relationship.
Why was he so angry with you?
Well, 4 months before Confessions was published in 2005, we got a call from Sean's attorney, my attorney did, and Sean's attorney wanted to see the book before the book came out. Confessions of a Video Vixen was an embargoed book, so no one could see it. No one would even get it until the publication date, which is June 5th of that year. And so my attorney told his attorney that he could not get the book and that they would have to wait until the book came out like everyone else. And if they saw a problem in the book, that they were free to reach back out to us, sue us, whatever they felt was necessary. We knew that wouldn't happen because HarperCollins is the publisher of that book, as you know, is a News Corp entity. And
but I see y'all in the chat, but just peep. Like, if you are experienced with women and you understand how they move, I mean, and men do it too. There's a chameleon nature. I'm not saying the chameleon nature amongst all of them to disrespect women at the level of a fucking Brittany Renner, where I'm Muslim today, I'm Christian tomorrow, and the week after that, I'm whatever you know what I'm saying? Everything here, her color of choice, neutral black, her hair in a short and almost bob type of, like, she could have easily thrown a wig on, and if it was video vixen mode, you see what I'm saying? This is the manipulation and the presentation to put this in front right now. And the things that she's about to say is why I'm going to get more and more into the title of this. This is getting ridiculous. It's all manipulation to me. All of it. What you're wearing, how you're talking, your word selection, your hairstyle, your everything is manipulation. And this is how the Karrine Steffans of the world maneuver to the position that she maneuvered to. It's not just a head. You would be a shallow thinking guy to think that she just sucked away to the point where 20 years ago she was doing Tyra Banks, and 20 years later she's still doing Piers Morgan. No.
Those attorneys made sure it was vetted to the fullest, so Sean could never sue. He could never raise any objection to it. And I think he always hated me after that because I left enough. I posed questions in that book that that I think sent certain people down the direction that leads us to where we are now.
Just explain that a little more. What were the questions you think that you're talking about?
I question that. So as a middle-aged woman now, yeah, she I don't think that she's in and out of the video vixen video shoot parties anymore. It's a different era in hip hop. It's a different era in Hollywood. It's a different era, the whole music industry, right? So I believe that she has to evolve with the times and evolve with who she is moving. She's a mother now, right? Or she's always been a mother because Coogee Rap was her original BM, right? But it's evolving your hustle, evolving your presentation. You can't just run in and out of every, video vixen party, sucking off 5 people per night the way you might have did 20 years ago. 20 years later, I would say, not 20 years removed, as if we're looking at a totally different person. There's no light switch with some of these women, if you ask me, right? This is what they know. This is what they live. This is who they are. And when I can see you clearly being manipulative, that's why I brought up some of the more current videos, not just the old Tyra Banks shit. I brought up the more current one where she was sitting there, not in front of Piers Morgan, but in front of a random person holding up a phone. And then she did what she said to Tony Yayo. She that type of energy, right? Or how about the one where she's sitting there on Vlad and I showed you the lie, right? Like, oh, no. How'd you get Superhead? You're lying. You're lying. On Vlad, she gave a more diplomatic answer because that's more current, right? But it's a lie. Well, one of them is a fucking lie, and it's definitely way more trashy of a answer that she gave in the older video. So she's matured. She's just evolving with her presentation. You see what I'm saying? And that's the manipulation, and that's the danger to some of these women, if you ask me. But go ahead and try her out and think that she's some reformed, different woman, you know, if you want.
Well, honestly, I'm just now getting context on a lot of the questions that I had then. After the trial. The trial gave me way more context. But just about, I think, his sexual proclivities in what we saw in hanging out with him, the kind of clubs he took us to, even conversations he and I had, one in particular where I didn't understand it at the time. And honestly, Piers, I'm getting new understanding about this line of questioning. I wrote about this in Confessions where my boyfriend and I at the time had gone to his home for New Year's Eve, Christmas, New Year's Eve kind of festivities. And he pulled me to the side and was just like, we're friends, right? We're friends. And I was like, yeah, we're friends. And like, we're good. And I'm like, yeah, we're good. And I couldn't figure out what he meant. And I wrote about this where I didn't know what he was talking about. And he just kind of went on to say, I have kids, I have a mom, and if anything got out, it would really hurt them. And I honestly, at that point in stage, did not know or remember what he was talking about. And so we just kind of laughed it off. Like, what's going on with him? And
Really, people, you had the encounters and the relationship that you already had with Diddy. You already gave examples of why Diddy's attorney reached out to you because of the book and him being in the book. And you also said he had kids and all of that going on. So when he bumped into you at this New Year's Christmas party or whatever, we good, right? He's testing the water because you're doing a whole roundabout book tour and interviews talking about the men in the industry, exposing them of what you did with them. And he's one of every man in that book that don't want his business in front of the whole world as a celebrity. You don't even got to be a celebrity to not want your shit out there like that. But now fast forward on Piers Morgan, it's all gray. I'm really not sure. I don't understand. Like, the trial has made more things a little bit more clear to me now, even though I clearly understood this shit 20 years ago. Because I'm telling you about the lawyers that were sent. So you're manipulating me and Piers and the whole world right fucking now. Come on.
Things that he said to my boyfriend, like, don't trust her. She might have her on video with in precarious positions. And this is back before cell phone cameras. So I was just like, what video? I didn't understand any of it. Now after the trial and the things that have come out from the trial, this gives these conversations a lot more context. But at the time when Confessions came out, it did make us all wonder, what was he so afraid of? I didn't even know what I had seen.
At the time when Confessions came out, it made us all wonder, what was he so afraid of? But you're doing interviews with Tyra Banks, and they're like, yo, you're exposing all these men, and you just like, look at the introduction that we read. She admit in the introduction of the book, I got what I wanted, but not the conventional way. I used sex to do it. But she's up here with Piers Morgan with this whole neutral look of the hairstyle and the black shirt and the very, very minimalist necklace. And you're playing this naive, I'm not sure thing. Are you guys starting to understand the title of this more and more and more? This is a fucking snake we listening to right here. And when you don't chop that, you go ahead and let this motherfucker crawl around the grass if y'all want in the chat. These are the ones that bite your ass.
Or didn't see, or if there's something happened that I didn't remember from our time together, but he was very afraid that I would say something in the book. And honestly, I think he never contacted us back because what he thought I was going to say, I did not say, possibly because I didn't remember it.
What do you think he was fearful of you saying?
I have to be honest, Piers, in booking this time with you today, and your producer asked me to kind of send over some pages from the book. I hadn't read Confessions since I wrote it, and I read it for the audio version, and that was 2005. It's been 20 years since I read this book. Uh-huh. And in reading what I sent over, which is what I just described to you right now.
So you read it, you even narrated it for the audio book, and then on top of that, you lived through this time of people threatening you, upset at you, you benefiting off of it, doing interviews, practicing, rehearsing for it. All of this, made money off of it. You lived through this whole era of that book. It's fuzzy to you, though. Unless you're going to tell me you have some type of brain damage or something happened physically. You're going to tell me that? Because me, I didn't live through none of that shit in your shoes. But I saw your interview come up, and the clips that we brought up on the stream, they clicked in my mind in 0.5 seconds. What am I? Some super Neo Matrix machine AI thinking whatever? I think I'm a little bit smarter than the average, but if that shit could just click for me, but it's hazy for her, the person that lived through it, y'all better stop looking at some of y'all in the chat is just attracted to her. Look at this. She taught a lot of people. And she's still doing it right now. She's manipulating the fuck out of y'all.
I wonder a lot of things. He was so afraid that I knew something. And I was confused because the only time that we had together prior to this conversation was alone time at his home, wherein I felt we had a good time. I didn't know, he didn't come on to me. It was very platonic, I thought. So I was confused as to what was it? And so I have to admit, my mind kind of races now that I have more context of his proclivities and what he's capable of.
Wow. You are being lined up right here. I got a $25 bet with the first person that DMs me. She might have a lawsuit coming. You say, you thought it was platonic at the time. Like, I'm not understanding. Once again, your book is the fucking problem. Anybody could see that from a mile away, but you're acting stupid here on Piers Morgan. That's cool. But now, after the trial, I'm getting context, and now I understand. It's actually making me have a clear road to the problems and the possibilities that maybe I went through with Diddy back then when things weren't as clear. Watch the line. Continue.
Of what he was so afraid of, what he thought I knew, or what he thought I remembered.
I mean, in the book, you talk about the first time you met Diddy in a nightclub at 3 a.m.
Wait, let me expand that. If it's not a lawsuit, it's definitely inclusive of money, whether it's interviews, another book, a Diddy book, or a heavily laden Diddy book, or a lawsuit. This is her opportunity, just like many other people. But she has a fast track than many other people that's throwing in their shit. She's already a well-known name. And she's already got a past that's well documented with a lot of these people, including Diddy.
So right there in front of me, Diddy and Gotti, who was the Murder Inc. Records boss of Gotti, made arrangements to send me to Diddy's house in 1 hour. It was 4 a.m. I turned up to Diddy's home in my SUV. There were security guards in the driveway, all dressed in dark suits with their hands in front of them. Expecting me. The things that went on when Gotti and I were together are almost unimaginable to me now. But in the haze of drugs and liquor, it all seemed all right. I was being used over and over again, man after man, all friends and acquaintances of Gotti's. I quickly became Gotti's.
Let me rewind that, people. As he's reading this to her, she's getting more blinky. There's a piece of it that folds her down. Her actual bodily reaction and response, her mannerisms. Now she goes to her head. She's getting finicky. This is the type of shit that they teach people in like the interrogation rooms. He gets to certain parts in reading to her, which is something that you best believe she did not want this old shit read right here to her. Well, since you don't remember nothing, let me read it to you. Let me rewind that. Watch her bodily reactions. You could see a lot. It's not always words, people. Pay attention.
All right. I was being used over and over again, man after man, all friends and acquaintances of Gotti's. I quickly became Gotti's showpiece. He would turn other people in the industry onto me. I was his party favor. Whenever there was anyone Gotti wanted to impress, he would send them to me and I'd take care of them.
The party favor made her put her eyes down and then bop her head. The party favor part. She hears every word. She's very smart. She's very I'm telling you. And she's up there. That's like being on the stand, like up the gut punches. Fuck, it's not what I'm really trying to put a whole different narrative. You see it?
I mean, could it be that what Sean Combs was worried about was that he facilitated this very transactional relationship that you had with of Gotti? Is that
This is what I mean about even some of my battle rap quote unquote enemies. They hate the fact that I can see. They hate the fact that I can see it. Like, oh, he's the person that really reads it. He knows. He I can't be full of shit around him. And chat, I need y'all to all be the same way. They not getting the shit off on us. They not.
Is that part of this?
I don't think that was it. And honestly, I think it was more insidious than that. The fear, the fright that he had that during that conversation at his Miami home, you know, back in whatever year that was, he seemed terrified that I had known something. And I just don't know what he thought I knew or remembered. The transactional nature of how we met, and which is why, you know, I said in various interviews before that I was gifted to him, it was because no one asked me if—
Did she just say the transactional and gifted? Boy, Diddy, do you see what this girl Karrine Steffans is out here doing? Bring that back. Transactional and gifted. Her word selection is beautiful. This is a small snake. Like, because you don't be seeing them. Like, she's good.
I knew or remembered. The transactional nature of how we met, and which is why, you know, I said in various interviews before that I was gifted to him, it was because no one asked me if I wanted to go. No one asked me. They talked about me as if I wasn't there. I was property to cart around. And that's what they did. If they would have asked me, I still would have gone. So I didn't hold any objection at the time because
Good. At the time,
I would have still done it. Being 21 and it's Diddy and we're having fun and it's just a
using her age, using the fact that it's Diddy, which is a powerful figure, transaction. At that time, I probably still would have done it, but fast forward, I feel away.
Saturday night out in LA.
Everybody knows how much I enjoy my tea.
Wow.
I'm very happy to say that today's show is sponsored by PStar.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Did you actually have any kind of sexual relationship with Diddy at all?
Why that question? That's the question. She didn't hear him clearly. Wait, what was that? You know how people, I catch people around me like that. It's like a pet peeve of mine. If I say, did you pick it up from the store? And they go, what? And like, let's say we're standing right in front of each other, right? I'm like, did you pick it up from the store? Like, I text you, I asked you to get it, and be like, what? And I'm like, you didn't hear me? And if you say did you hear me? Their brain has finally caught up to process what they actually want to say to you, right? And without repeating it, they answer you. Yo, did you pick it up from the store? What? You didn't hear me? Oh, yeah, I stopped at the store. or actually, it'd be like, nah, I forgot. You're letting your brain catch up. That's what you just did to Piers right there. That question right there was like, ooh, get myself in. I'm fast. I'm sharp. I'm good. I'm manipulative. I have great communication. My word selection is impeccable. But let me give myself an extra second to answer that. She leans in forward, the mannerism. Huh? Bitch, you're mic'd up. What are you leaning towards the visual camera for? They don't like me, B. I'm telling you. Chat is with me. The chat is sorry, it's true compatible, son. I need some more ladies in here. Hold on, because the guys is going off. You tried to say Superhead was really playing people because she used both hands. She was she was cheating. I got to go back to that one, people. Let's watch that one. I'm sorry. That was funny. Where we at? We 11 minutes. Let's go back right here. Boom. All right.
With all of them.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Did you actually have any kind of sexual relationship with Diddy at all? QUElife.com/hits.
What was that?
But did you actually ever have any kind of sexual relationship at all then?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Did you actually have any kind of sexual relationship with Diddy at all?
No, Diddy and I did not. No, well, not to my knowledge.
Chat, I'm gonna walk off this fucking camera. Is my title clickbait? Getting ridiculous now. Is Superhead suing Diddy? She paused to catch up. She's looking for the right answer. That question clearly caught her off guard. Did you have sexual relations with Diddy? We already read or played the audiobook of her talking about getting up into the room with Diddy. Farnsworth Bentley was in the room. He gestures to Farnsworth to get the fuck out. And she says it was straightforward. Diddy says to her, "You're the best." She says back to him, "You're the best as well," even though in my mind it was just average. Then he says, "Meet me back tomorrow for brunch." She leaves. She goes and lays back up with Irv Gotti. We just played it. We just played it. This is the type of shit Averb be doing. Like, he'll have this type of shit on the internet and still come up here and try to say some stupid shit. And then she catches herself when she's in the midst of saying, she starts by saying no. She starts to lie and contradict the book, right? She starts to say no, and then she retracts into the perfect civil suit answer. I'm not sure. Why are you not sure? What's next? I get it. You were drugged. So you were not. It's all hazy to you now. Y'all see it coming? Chat, is it me? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. And this is why she gets over. Yeah. I mean, but she's doing it and you're not getting by us. Y'all see it? Am I lying though, Cap? Have I told y'all a lie yet? If she hasn't already, Apex. Facts. You try to says, why would they need to drug a girl that's always down? Don't even make any sense. She's got way too much footage online. I could do a superhead video for 2 hours with all the footage that I could bring up. I just, before the stream cut on, grabbed like 5 or 6 things. You know, wait, hold on. I think I could find something to compliment the boom. Boom. That's it. Done. I'm not up here trying to be these niggas' lawyers. I'm just up here trying to prove the points of the Sorry It's True podcast. This lady is shot out. Big facts. You're right, ARP. I'm just saying, no lies detected. I just want to make sure. I hope Piers reminded her she wildin'. And I'm going to pull that back one more time. One more again for you, Superhead. Let me pull that back one more again for you. I'm pretty sure you don't mind seeing that piece again of how you look to people that actually have eyes and ears.
She was all them.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Did you actually have any kind of sexual relationship with Diddy at all?
No, Diddy and I did not. No, well, not to my knowledge.
Her charisma kicked in too fast. Her charisma and her manipulation was a step ahead of her civil suit answer. No, Diddy and I had never, well, not to my knowledge. What the fuck is that? Look at her face right now. Look at the screen. Look at the screen. Piers Morgan, I came up here to build my case, not to have you asking me these type of questions. Look at her fucking face. One more again. I'm not up here defending Diddy. I'm just being real.
She was all them.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Did you actually have any kind of sexual relationship with Diddy at all?
No, Diddy and I did not. No, well, not to my knowledge.
So what do you mean by that?
Not to my knowledge. I don't. Honestly, I'm questioning a lot of things right now.
What you think?
So not to my knowledge. I don't think anything right now. Just not to my knowledge, because honestly.
That's a very strange response, though, to not remember whether you did or not.
Yeah, isn't it?
Mm.
It is. Yeah, it is. Because honestly, Piers, before I went through my text, again, I hadn't read Confessions in 20 years. I wrote it. It was painful to write. So I never wanted to re-traumatize myself and go through those those years again and think about this. I'm a middle-aged woman at this point. I don't want to go back into my 20s and see what happened. But in gathering information for this interview here, reading that passage again for the first time in 20 years, I questioned a lot of things like, well, why was he so afraid? And why did he try to, make my boyfriend feel as if I wasn't trustworthy? And
do you think he took advantage of you when you were under the influence of alcohol and drugs?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
But do you fear that's the case now from everything you've read?
Honestly, yes. Given the context, now that I know, because again, I never knew any of these things about him before. So the things that I learned in the trial, I did not know. I never saw that side of him. I did not know. I never understood. And again, in 2005, when I published Confessions, it says I didn't understand why he was so fearful of me, because our time together was pleasant. And I was like, wait, what is he so afraid of? What does he not want me to tell? I didn't see anything at that point. At that point, I hadn't seen anything. At that point, we had, I thought, just a friendly, platonic night together. So I was confused then.
Now, of course, she's way more trained and experienced and manipulative and better and smarter than, like, let's say, an Averb type of person. You know what would be one of the most entertaining things in the world? People or somebody like Averb that talks very fast, very bullshit, but his manipulation levels and abilities are so amateur. If you put him on the stand with a good attorney, a good lawyer, and give him a straightforward line of questioning, imagine what Averb would look like. I would literally pay, if me and him were in the lawsuit, I would literally pay to see it. Imagine a Averb on the stand getting questioned. And Piers Morgan is he's just doing questions related to getting good content for his show. And he's had a few head scratches in there where he saw something and like, ain't that a strange response? Right? He's not going after her legally. Imagine somebody drilling her from a legal standpoint right now. It would be like what happened with Dawn Rashad up there. She would be walking out of the courthouse pissed off. Like, this isn't what I came for. Look at the parallel. I came to enforce my civil suit. And I left feeling like, and she's getting a little bit of that right now. Karrine, you and Dawn are related. Y'all cousins right here.
And 20 years later, I'm confused now. So to my knowledge, I've never had sex with Sean Combs. We never had that kind of relationship.
But you can't be sure.
To my knowledge, I never had sex with Sean Combs. Bitch, have you ever went and... I can send you... What's your email? You know what? Am I an asshole if I find her IG right now? Right here on Live with y'all? Am I a fucking asshole? You know what? I'm so pissed off that she just said that. I'm so pissed off you just said that shit, bitch. I'm so mad you said that. I'm so mad you just said, I'm not sure. Me and Sean Tamada, I don't know if I had sex. All right, cool. I'm gonna see if I could just do it with y'all live real quick. Let me see. Let me see. If we can, we will. If we can, we will. Okay, here's my Instagram. I'm gonna open up another tab in my browser and I'm gonna go to my internet history. What video was it? It was the audio book, right? Where she was talking about her and North Gotti, and she slept with Diddy and kicked Farnsworth Bentley out the room so they could fuck and all that. Which video? All right, so I see the Superhead and Tony Yayo video. Irv Gotti, Dark Secrets. Was it this one? This is the one. Okay, cool. So I got the link. All right. Let's see if we could find Miss Karrine Steffans' official Instagram. Fuck, I knew she was gonna have 1 million. Fuck. All right, let me try to Google it real quick. What is Karrine Steffans' official Instagram? See, at Karrine Steffans _ you think it is? Let's see. At Karrine Steffans _ is that what you think it is? Oh, maybe that is it. Let's see. 18,000 followers ain't bad. That don't really look like a fake account. Hold on, that might be it. Okay, this one's saying the same thing. This one's saying the same thing. This might be it. We might have found it. I'm surprised she only got 18,000 followers, though. Let's see what her last post is. This was 2012. That's probably why. Fuck! That means that this might be her most recent and current Instagram, but she's not using it. Damn it. Because I wanted to send a message and I wanted to say, hi, Miss Karrine Steffans. Just wanted to help you out since you didn't remember your experiences with Sean Diddy Combs while attempting to recollect during the Piers Morgan recent interview. Here is your own audio book narrated stating one of your sexual encounters with Sean P. Diddy Combs. And there goes the link. How do I spell recollect? Is it 2 L's? My bad. Turn that to an X. Thank you, Instagram, for pointing out the typos. Okay, I think we're good. Send. Okay. And so we're just trying to help. We're just helping. We're just helping. Am I wrong? Did I send something that was not accurate? Am I lying? Am I being petty? Is that what I did? No, I'm so fucking. Tell me where I'm off. No, it's 7:00 in the morning right now. I'm not at fucking all. I went to sleep last night at I went to sleep earlier, shit, 8 p.m. I'm up early. I'm working here with y'all, and then I'm gonna go hit the fucking gym. You think that this is a petty level y'all haven't seen before or something? Is that why you asked? No, not at fucking all. I'm actually feeling like we're being sharp as shit this morning. You tried it by catching this shit. I don't think a drunk ARP can catch this shit. ARP, can't believe you ain't catch it. Puff paid her to go up there and do that so he can be ahead of the game. I'm sure it was going to be more superhead that was going to come out. Good thinking on Diddy's behalf. The Lifesaver, appreciate the super. Damn, let me take the bigger screen because you can't even really see me. I don't see this. I don't see that angle because everything that we're interpreting, we're breaking down, and we're catching right now is superhead going from old interviews, old blogs, and her old book 20 years ago, explaining all this consensual, I'm being passed around as a party favor. I got to where I wanted to go using sex. She went from that to 20 years later, this Diddy trial blows up, and you got people reaching into the pot now, including her. And now she's up here saying things that would line you up for saying I was taken advantage of, right? She's saying she used the word transactional, right? She's saying the transactional nature of our relationship, right? And there was another word that we spotted out. We was like, ooh, that's a gotcha. She's smart. And then, of course, getting to the part where Piers Morgan asked her that we keep looking at and laughing at, did you ever have sexual relationships with Diddy? Well, ask again? Did you ever fuck Diddy? Well, me and Diddy had never, you know what? I take that back. I forget. It damn near sounded like somebody in court saying, I plead the fifth. That's what she just did. I'm not sure. And he's like, that's a weird answer. And she's like, isn't it? I agree, it is. And now all of a sudden she's doing a complete 180 from all her past shit that we already brought up. And now she's trying to show us or tell us that I'm not sure what happened. I may have been taken advantage of. It was all transactional. What the fuck is a transaction? It's one of the charges that is prostitution, for example. Transaction. Our relationship was transactional. Prostitution. Y'all don't see it? So now I appreciate this perspective. I just think it's the opposite. Diddy wouldn't want this right here, this interview. This interview of what she was doing or the things that she's saying does not help Diddy. She's saying that she was taken advantage of. She's not saying I was up. Oh, as far if she got up on Piers Morgan and said, look, I watched the trial. I admit, man, my experiences with Diddy was nothing was coerced. None of that was forced. I knew everything I was doing. I was having a good old time with him. You know what I'm saying? He was a good guy when he was with me. If she got up there and said that, then yeah, Diddy might have sent it. That might be a plan, right? But she's doing the opposite. She's like, I don't know. Like, I don't understand why he's so confused. Maybe you think I'm hot. I don't know. Did you have sex? I'm not sure. We had a transactional relationship and everything is hazy and I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm figuring it all out now. Hey, you're talking to lawyers now. That's what they're figuring out is. So I think this is opposite, G. But all right, let's go back. I got the other supers in the chat. Give me a second, y'all.
Given what we know now, I can't be sure.
And how does that make you feel?
And that saddens me.
Yeah, I was going to ask you.
It saddens me, honestly. Yeah, because honestly, during this entire process, I've been shying away from publicity and just letting the trial unfold. I knew things from just being around and people talking, but I didn't know what was going to come out. There was a few things that I saw that without context were strange to me, but I didn't understand them until the trial. And so I've been quiet this whole time and I disappeared off of social. I just disappeared for the past year waiting for this thing to unfold. In the unfolding of what I believe to be facts, and definitely the testimonies of Cassie and Jane and even some of the men, and then looking back at the text, I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, when he said, if anything got out, and I'm like, and I remember at the time being so confused, like anything like what got out? Like nothing happened.
She just said, looking back at the text. So she's trying to plant the seed right there that she has her old 20-year-old conversations with Diddy that she's looking back over now that the trial is done and she's giving herself context finally.
Happened. We hung out. You were kind. At some point I went to sleep. I don't know when, but I woke up and then we had breakfast and you were kind and I left. Nothing happened. I don't know, Pierce. I feel just in the last 24 hours, I question what I thought I knew about my time with him.
You detailed in your books romantic relationships with a lot of famous people from that world: Jay-Z, DMX, Van Diesel, Lil Wayne, Method Man, even Bill Maher, LL Cool J, Mr. Carl, and others. You had a lot of famous guys you dated. And who knows what the nature of what happened with Diddy was about. But do you feel that this whole world has now changed irrevocably as a result of what happened to Diddy?
No, because nothing has happened to Diddy. Nothing has happened to Sean at all. What has happened here is that, here's the deal. It's not a Diddy issue. Like, Diddy is a problem, but he's not the problem, okay? He's not the problem. From Cosby...
Diddy is a problem. Who still thinks that Diddy sent her up here to do this? No way. This is her own ambition. She's got her own agenda.
To Combs, Weinstein to Epstein, and everything in between, they're all different tentacles of the same beast. And this is a story as old as time. The abuses of men, men in power, especially men with money. And I think it only increases over time as women become more free and more liberated, being able to make our own money, being able to, buy our own homes, being able to start our own businesses. I think it only enrages the men who hold power that they're losing power. And so I felt that over time, in my experience over the last 20-something years that I've been in this town, that the men are increasingly more aggressive and more so wanting to keep women under control and in power because they are losing power, even legally so. I don't think that the Diddy trial has changed anything other than it probably fuels this issue more than anything, because here's the deal. Two of the toughest charges have been dropped. He's facing up to 20 with time served. Yeah, he's denied bail, but how much time is he really going to get? Probably maybe 3 years, might be out on probation, might have to wear an ankle bracelet like Martha Stewart, and everything's going to be fine. And then what happens is that no one's paying attention to the fact that there are a lot of men who aren't saying anything, who are very quiet, as well as men especially, and women who are supporting him. And I fear, even with everything that we've heard, let's say none of that was true. We saw something, however, that tells us something about this person. We saw a videotape of him brutalizing Cassie, and that tells me everything I need to know about this person's character. So even if nothing else was true, that alone is enough reason for him to be canceled indefinitely. But I fear That's not what's going to happen. I think this is just emboldening more men to do the same thing, because guess what they're going to do? They're going to get away with it. There are men in this industry who have left this country, who are now living on islands and in different countries, to escape persecution from things like this. There are men that I know personally who are involved in this, who have done things similar to this, who have parties like this. Diddy's not the only one. This is not a Sean Combs problem. This is a societal community issue here in this town. And it's not just the artists, it's also their attorneys, their publicists, it's the hotels.
I agree. Oh, hold on. Let's catch this last piece.
Brutalized in a hotel. And guess what happened? That tape disappeared. When I went to get my police report from the police station, it was destroyed all within 48 hours to protect the person who had brutalized me. It is systemic. So it doesn't matter, if Diddy gets off or not, in the sense that
I agree. So it's a lot of people that need to be involved to keep this type of stuff going, especially at such a public eye level. And when I say public eye, it's because we know that Diddy is such a out there guy, and he deals with so many different people, and he has so many handlers and assistants and friends and whatnot, that people have to either turn a blind eye or be involved to a degree for him to be able to carry himself the way that he's been for this amount of time behind the scenes, right? You call them enablers, okay? Period. You call them enablers, whether they turn an eye or not. So she's right there, and she flourished the moment that she can get the light off of her and turn it to Diddy. But I hope we prove the point with Miss Karrine Steffans, okay, aka Superhead. In some form, she's going to take advantage, and already is, of the verdict and Diddy being in the headlines. So just put on your third eye, people, and see that this type of shit is not going to end anytime soon. I haven't seen her name pop up in years. Haven't cared for her name to pop up in years. Diddy trial's over. Oh, look at, there goes Superhead. And she gets up there and she pushes an agenda on her own, on one of the biggest platforms. So it is what it is, but we see it. Let's stay in line with Diddy. I saw this response from DL Hughley. I want to know if y'all agree or disagree with this. DL Hughley, don't celebrate the Diddy verdict. You better than that.
I think that it's clear that Puffy wasn't charged for the things he did. He was charged in this vague, amorphous. Even at the judge, even during the trial, you could have a hard time. You could see he was having a hard time buying it, and I think it shows two things. Money, will buy a great defense. I think if he's charged and he has a public defender, he's convicted. But you can have a lawyer that does exactly what lawyers are supposed to do. And the other thing about it is, he literally, and I'm no fan. I didn't like what happened. I think, but they didn't charge him for domestic abuse. They charged him for all of these terms that they just couldn't prove.
What about the celebration? I mean, because I remember there was a lot of controversy around the celebration with OJ. What about this celebration?
I think that there are people who are morally bankrupt. I say that all the time. I think that there's no cause, even if Puffy, wasn't convicted of the most serious charges. He still whooped a woman in front of everybody. He wasn't charged for that, and the feds wouldn't charge him for that. Obviously, the feds wouldn't be involved in something like that. But it speaks to who we are as a society. Like, who could celebrate, even if he's not guilty of the crimes charged, but he is a horrible dude. I can root for a man to get justice. That's different than celebrating this verdict. They're two different things. I can hold two eyes in my hand. They clearly charged him and overcharged him, and I think there was a racial component. There's no denying that. There's a distinct difference between a black man being overcharged and being and having the wherewithal and the means to fight the system and win. Of course, I would celebrate that. You can be a defense attorney and have to do your job. That don't mean you celebrate it. I think he did some horrible things. Obviously, the prosecutor, and I think that there was a racial component. I think that they did overcharge. I think that obviously you can see that, and I think, but to me, to celebrate it, like he wasn't convicted of the most serious of charges, but we still found out a lot of stuff that is amoral, and I think it speaks to a lot of the way a lot of people handle things.
I mean, people who disagrees. Who disagrees? DL. He nailed that. He absolutely nailed that. When we saw the footage during the day of the verdict, You know, the people outside celebrating with pouring baby oil on them and dancing and playing around and playing his music and all that. I just don't think that I won't say all, right? I'll just say a majority of those people, I don't think that they're looking at it from the perspective of the full picture, which is it's not just about a man or a black man beating the government, beating the feds, right? You just can't sweep under, especially that fast, like in less than 24 hours, who the man is and what he did. Okay. If a cop kicks in my door right now and picks me up for R-ing a woman as well as shooting a separate man down the block while I was running trying to get away, right? And the video comes out of me shooting the man, right? And let's say the video makes it look like self-defense. For whatever reason, it was never really proven if I really awed this woman. She was never interviewed. She never pressed charges. She never took the stand or whatever. But everybody knows that it's true, right? Everybody knows it's true. If I beat the shooting because it looks like self-defense or somebody running up on me and I just defended myself, but it just so happens he's trying to stop me because I was running away from the R-ing that I was doing, right? Do you celebrate me? No. Like Diddy people should never forget that tape. He deserves that. They should never forget that tape. They should make him live to it. Now when he did that apology video and it was like, I need help. I'm sorry. I apologize, whatever. Unfortunately, Diddy is not in a position where we can say, you know what, you fucked up. You made a big mistake. You was high that day. You was enraged and you did what you did. And maybe he deserves a second chance. Unfortunately, Diddy, that's not you. If we felt that was the first time that you did that, or you had some wild physical excuse like you was drugged up or something like that, maybe more people would hear you out. But then we watch the trial and we hear how violent you are and the car bombings and running down on people and spinning the block for sugar at the burger spot and taking people to Central Park, female assistants, and threatening to kill them based on who they talk to, and hitting Cassie's friend over the head with a hanger and giving her a concussion and then paying her off. And then Cassie talking about, oh yeah, on this private plane, I was getting beat so bad that I was asking, like, is anybody watching? Or the pictures that come out of the gash in her on her fucking forehead of you slamming her head against something and then sending her to a plastic surgeon to get that shit fixed up. Or all the people that came out and said, yeah, I seen when he did that shit, blah, blah, blah. It's too much. It's too much. If it was only that one incident from the video, a lot of people would be like, listen, man, go get help. Second chance. A lot of people deserve second chances. Not Diddy, because Diddy has been acting out, we believe, allegedly, for years with these similar type of actions. He's just been getting away with it. So you can't celebrate a man like that. We can never revere in Diddy ever again. Why? Because he beat the feds. There's a lot of, well, I shouldn't say it. There's a couple motherfuckers that beat the feds. You know what I'm saying? You revering them? Like, Diddy is not your hero. He's not. You could say it's cool or good to see not just a black man, but a human being, period, get overcharged for some shit that they don't belong fighting the feds for and beat it. You could be there. But Diddy is to never be celebrated. He's not a good man. And that's already been proven. Even his lawyers started off his defense by saying, yes, he's a domestic abuse and he's this and he's that, but that's not what we're here to fight. We just want to focus on sex trafficking. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. All right, we are now complete with the Diddy segment, tied into Superhead and DL Hughley and all of that. Our plus on that. I hope that we drugged that through the weeds, pulled up a lot of references, gave some funny and some entertaining yet true reactions. I got to the chat a lot, so I hope y'all enjoyed that segment. Let's move forward. We got Nicki Minaj continuing to bully Roc Nation and Jay-Z. Nicki Minaj, is it me or is Jay, Meg, and Roc Nation crumbling? Okay. Megan Thee Stallion's sexual harassment lawsuit filed by former cameraman is going forward, much to the approval of Nicki Minaj, who's calling the whole thing karma. Yes, with a capital K. All right. So we remember this lawsuit. Is like a gay driver or something that says that Meg was getting it on in the back seat and allegedly forced him to watch or whatever. He wrote a lawsuit for that. I know there's a lot of guys that if you're driving a car and you look in the rear view and Meg is back there, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's lawsuit city. Pull over, get out if you're that uncomfortable. Let's continue. Fuck it. Let me just keep reading. Last week, a judge ruled Megan and Roc Nation couldn't drop the case after a cameraman supplied enough facts to keep the ball rolling, prompting a snarky response from Nikki. All right, and here's Nikki's caption here. What was the name of that law again? Question mark. Karma's law. Is that touch or touche she meant? Not my appointed law. Vengeance is the Lord's law. We give God the glory and he's only just begun. Have a blessed day if you can. LOL. The blog's posting lies. Thank you. More money for me. We're working. Trust. Okay. What was the name of that law again? We just read that. Nikki basked in the cameraman's Emilio Garcia legal victory so far like it was her own, and then switched her sniper scope to Jay-Z, something she's making a pattern of this year. Wow. Roc Nation CEO Desiree Perez, we hear her name a lot over the years, right? Is allegedly abusive. Her daughter, Demaray, claims her mother held her against her will and was punching her. This so sad, not the actions of a concerned mother. Pound justice for them. Pound justice the Hadleys. Nicki Minaj calls out Roc Nation. I already have what I need to go forward. So when I said jokingly, Nicki's been bullying Jay-Z and Roc Nation for some time now. Watch how I migrate this and parallel this, transition this into the next topic, which is the Serius Jones and Math Hoffa joint. I think there's a lot there, right? If you just look at it from the surface and say, and Nikki takes every opportunity to shoot at Roc Nation or Jay-Z. What's up with her? There's also some small stuff that's mixed in there that don't got nothing to do with business of hers. When I say business of hers, I mean business, like money of hers. Think of like how she came out during the selection of the Super Bowl halftime show, right? She jumped on Jay-Z's heels in defense of Lil Wayne. Do y'all remember the stream when I was just like, yo, people have motives, right? I see through some of the people that's defending Lil Wayne and how they have some of their own personal motives. Nikki is proving some of those points for me and perspectives for me, right? But what are her motives? That is the question. So the Lil Wayne and Jay-Z and Baby thing creates ops, okay? Nicki Minaj, she chose her side. I'm with Wayne and Baby and Cash Money and Young Money and all that, and that's my side. Jay-Z, we have issues with you, and she's very vocal. At times, Nicki Minaj is very aggressive, so that's one thing to pay attention to. It's all motives, and some of it makes sense. Like, hey, ride for your people, ride for your side. I get it, but I have to understand why you're doing some of it, okay? Here's another big piece that I feel like truly inspires Nicki. It's kind of bundled up with the Meg Thee Stallion and Nicki Minaj competition. Now, unfortunately, especially in a male-dominated industry, a lot of these women, when they come along, they're ops. They don't partner up. They don't get together like the fucking male Atlanta artists and shit. Like, you know, the Roxanne Ashante or the most notable one ever historically, Lil' Kim and Foxy Brown, right? And then fast forward, you get a rendition of that, of Nicki Minaj and Cardi B, right? And now you also got Nicki Minaj and Meg Thee Stallion. I don't think that it's all just the catty nature of these female rappers. Some of that element is there. But I think some of it just involves how the industry even has some levels of separation amongst these women because the women stars are far and few. So that means I'm going to fight that much harder to keep the light or to keep the fans or to keep the interest of the industry. It's like the industry within itself can't let these big artists on the female side come together and get along. It just won't. So if tactically Roc Nation is using things or resources or promotions or rollouts or marketing with Meg Thee Stallion in ways to hurt Nicki Minaj, then Nicki Minaj would be justified. And I'm pretty sure it's the opposite direction as well. And here's a big thing that happens that we just be out the loop of. We see the headlines and then fans will start choosing up on who they like more. I like Nicki Minaj, so yeah, it's fuck Jay-Z and Roc Nation. I like Roc Nation and Jay-Z, it's fuck Nicki Minaj. I like Drake and I like Young Money, so then it's fuck the other side. I like Kendrick's last album, so fuck Drake forever, right? That's what people start doing on the surface. I bet you though, the Nicki Minaj's, the Meg Thee Stallions, the Roc Nations, the Jay-Z's of the world, they hold a lot of the details of some of the small shit that's been happening, even behind the scene that the fans aren't aware of, right? 100%. That is the case. 100%. It's just that Nicki, the way that she attacks every time somebody from the other side has an issue, it looks like it doesn't involve that other stuff. It looks like, okay, why are you out here worried about Meg Thee Stallion's lawsuit that has, you know what I'm saying? You look like a hater. But I know, from me not being naive, that there's much more there, much more. Now, the way I could take that and bleed that into my next topic so that my point holds true. Serius Jones, Math Hoffa. So this is how things kicked up the other day. You see a lot of bloggers pick this up. Math Hoffa tweets. He tweets, I lost my way. The way I have always walked, head first into the fire, out the other side victoriously. If you followed my battle career, you know what I'm talking about. Math always finds a way. I done had more comebacks than the Fast and Furious franchise. Now, I'm just going to assume when Math tweets this, you know, that's his life, that's his career. The man has lived through a bunch of up and downs, a lot of big controversies, a lot of times where industries maybe tried to blackball him, fans turned on him, said you don't belong. Issues with co-hosts, issues with his show recently, in battle rap. You know, if he's had physical altercations or problems, or he's typecasted almost his whole career. Some would say deservingly, some would say misunderstood. You take your pick. That's not for me to do right now. Okay. But especially when he highlights the part that says, where is it? If you followed my battle career, you know what I'm talking about. So one of the biggest moments to him having this narrative or cloud around him is the physical altercations, plural, with Serius Jones. It is, whether he types that out fully here or not, but the moment he says my battle rap career, so here comes Serius Jones. Serius Jones puts, man, shut the fuck up and get off Twitter bitching. Don't nobody want to hear that emo shit. Unravel and lose quietly. And he's laughing and all that, and then the emojis. Okay. Now, Math is my guy. And Serius Jones and me, we've had a rocky relationship, right? We cool now, but we don't have the best relationship. People know that. People expect me to get up here and everything I say be so tailored to Math. And I'm not here to, there's going to be no slander towards my guy Math. I'm not here to tear my guy Math down at all. But I'm going to be real. Did you guys peep the points that I was making in my last topic that transitions right into this one? This is actually justified. It looks petty. It looks like let it go. It looks like why are we still here? Here's one thing that Math and Serius Jones, and nobody can tell them accurately more than they can tell you. Something that they have lived through that is similar to the Nicki Minaj, Meg Thee Stallion, Roc Nation, and Jay-Z. It's the small details behind the scenes. It's the shots and it's the subs that nobody is aware of. Math and Serius have been taking subliminals or shots at each other for ages. Actually, that's one of the things that Serius Jones was calling out in their face-off, saying that, yo, when you did this battle and you said this punchline, you was subbing me. Or when you did this battle, or when you wrote this song, or when you dropped this album, you was subbing me. And the world wasn't paying attention during this time. I just had to sit there and be the brunt of your joke. And it goes in the opposite direction as well. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of times where Serius has said, and that sucker move that nigga did, or blah, blah, blah. And who was he thinking about when he wrote the lyric? He might have been trying to talk about math. Both directions for years, and only they know everything. Now, coming off of the point proven with Nicki Minaj and Meg and Roc and Jay, I can relate. I can relate because there's been times where I jumped out there and I had something to say publicly, right? And people didn't know necessarily all of the foundation of it or the motive of it, because there's a lot of people that throw rocks and hide their fucking hands. A lot of people. There's a lot of fuck shit. I mean, more and more of it is getting known now publicly, right? But there's a lot of fuck shit that people would do. And I would say, nah, fuck him, fuck that card, fuck you, fuck that, or whatever. And you wouldn't necessarily know why. And I got a laundry list of reasons why I'm motivated to say this shit that maybe you didn't catch or you don't know about. It's real talk. It's real talk. You know what I'm saying? So Math and Serius here, I look at this and I just be like, yo, their particular situation and energy between the two of them is damn near something that we all just gotta just let it be. Most of us tuned in. Some of us were actually there in the building when I put together their rematch, and they was outside and they shook hands on stage. They got outside. It's on footage. Their interviews. They're yucking it up, having a good time. But things have happened since then. You know what I'm saying? And it's not always a carrying of baggage. That's where Jim's made a recent mistake in his blog, right? It's not a baggage thing, right? And watch how I can spin this just to make the point. And this ain't me snapping at Jim's. I'm just being so sorry it's true right now. Jim's references a personal situation to him, even up into recent blogs. And he should be able to. That's me standing up for what he's referencing. He should be able to send a shot at that sucker shit that happened to him anytime that he wants to. And he does. He's been referencing it and sending shots at that situation for years, all the way up into like the last 7 days, the last week. He does it. He says it all the time. So that's how Serius feels. I feel a way for like, it's not baggage necessarily, right? But here's another example for you. If you see two league owners get up on an interview and they say RBE ain't a legacy league, right? Where does that motivation come from? You think it's coming from a place of these two league owners just looking unbiasedly at the whole timeline of battle rap and saying, well, when it comes to RBE, that 10 years that they put in, like, nah, not them. No, it's inspired from somewhere. You know, like Surf, if you're gonna run around KFC, it's because I'm on the opposite side from you. It's inspired from somewhere. You have motive to talk like this, right? Even recently, I see people that are like, let's say, either affiliates or friends of certain leagues. And when RBE comes up, there's certain choice words, right? Here's an example of a choice word. They're not around no more. That's a choice word or choice phrase. Or how about over here? They quit. That's choice words. You're phrasing it like that on purpose. Like it would be way more realistic and actual fact and truth to say, instead of, oh, he quit, or they not even here no more. They gone. Everybody else is gone. Those choice words coming from friends and affiliates opposed to the actual truth, which is me, which show you that I can dominate a whole year and then retire. Those people will never use the word retire because it doesn't sound good to say retire if I'm on the opposite side from them. You get it? And you want to know what? I do the same shit. Choice words for y'all because I don't fuck with y'all and y'all don't fuck with me. So choice words for y'all. So if I ever come out and I have certain choice words that you could catch on to, Am I carrying baggage? Am I salty? Am I sour? Me personally, I can't speak for everybody. Me personally, no. But you might forgive or you might move on. That doesn't mean that you forget. And that doesn't mean that you allow somebody to do something that you deem fuck shit in front of you and not call it out, especially when y'all have that lifelong tie. Doesn't mean I'm on your heels. Doesn't mean I'm sour. Doesn't mean I'm salty. Doesn't mean that I lost sleep last night. Doesn't mean I'm losing sleep tonight. But look at this bullshit. These motherfuckers still doing that shit, huh? Man, if you don't get the fuck on with that, it's actually my right to, if you know all the shit that has happened. And that's my point for Nikki and Meg and Roc and Jay. That's my point for Serius and Math. That's my point for me and other people that have issues or take certain choice words towards me and choice words that I take towards them. I'm just being consistent across all of it. So when I see Math and Serius at this point, I'm just like, they had so much going on in the past. They got so much going on now. And so much has happened between the two of them that they know that I don't. Same thing with me and this league or those league owners or that affiliate right there. Same thing for Nicki Minaj and Meg Thee Stallion and these companies behind them that tried to alter or displace each other's careers and shit. It's a lot of shit going on. We just don't know all of it. So different perspective for y'all. Different perspective. And that's my Math and Serious topic. I don't know if y'all thought I was going to go a different direction. I hope you did. I hope you did, because I want to be different. All right. Let me check out these supers real quick. My bad, y'all. Shout out to Miss Abby in the building. She says, good morning. I always disliked what she stood for. All bad. You better. We're talking about Superhead, right? You better. The only time you can like a Superhead is if, dare I say, no woman should ever revere in her. Like a guy can. Yeah, fuck around, get some head from her, some shit like that. No man should be happy that she was a part of like tearing down other. I mean, some of them guys moved wrong and did things that were wrong, right? But I don't think any guy sticks up for her, right? Put it this way: the people that stick up for Superhead, it's a birds of a feather flock together type of thing. Superhead is replicated by the millions out there in the world. So there's a lot of people that's like, oh, she on Piers Morgan yesterday, girl. Get him, girl. Shit, I'm gonna find my way to Oprah. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Shout out to our member KK with the super says, this is America, ARP, land of greed, lust, and freedom. The movie 7 type shit. If dudes chose discriminate over discernment, discernment over lust, she wouldn't have these stories on them. Yeah, can't just say that all the guys are innocent. There is some accountability that is required from all parties involved. I'm with you, KK. I'm definitely with you. Damn man, appreciate the super, says, you think DMX was the super in the building as based on you mean the song? I don't know. And I feel uncomfortable trying to guess that right now because he's passed. So rest in peace, X. But there's probably a lot of stories around who the super is. I don't know. It's a legendary Jadakiss line, man. Yeah, I don't know. Her book is, and I'm pretty sure there's even some lies in her book too, but she is who she is. The Lifesaver, appreciate the super. Did we get this one before? ARP, can't believe you ain't catch it. Puff paid. Yeah, we spoke about that one. Appreciate that. That was an interesting perspective. I gave y'all my reaction to that one. KK, our member again, says her name is Elizabeth Overson now. Who are we talking about? I forget who he was talking about right there. Definitely not Karrine, right? She didn't try to change the name, right? My bad for not catching this in the moment then. Miss Abby says, fake victim trying to change her own narrative. Yeah, chill out, Superhead. Do you ever have sexual relationships with Diddy? Huh? Can you please repeat the question? Did you ever fuck Diddy? No, me and Diddy never. Actually, I'm not sure. Ooh. Ooh, we see you, Karrine. We see you. We see you, Brittany. We see you. We understand y'all. All right, fun stream today, man. Nas says so ARP is the GOAT of what? Wait, ways, LO? Oh, segues. My bad. I appreciate that. When I can, I line up the order of the stream in a way where I feel like it can segue or transition into, especially if I think it's going to keep my points consistent. Because if you agree with what I said about Math and Serious, then you kind of got to agree what I said about Nikki and Meg. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody wants to be podcasting and be wrong all day, right? So I'm trying, man. ARP, be real. Yo, you put this again. Is this a real question? ARP, be real. Are you knocking down Superhead today? How about this one? Keep up with me. Boy, if you don't know who did, clip that, y'all. Clip that up. Put that on Twitter. On Twitter at him. ARP, you knocking down Superhead, boy. If you don't know who did, I didn't have dick in my what? Why would you alley-oop me this? Oh, here's the funny part though. A2 Sports Network. Did you alley-oop that to me on purpose for Verb? Or is this a serious question? I really want the answer. Was that a Verb oop or was that a real question? Because I was about to give you a dead serious answer, and then my brain started thinking, like, wait a minute, this sounds familiar. Oh shit. Oh, it says he is Verb. This is Verb. Straight number 3. It's out crying. Boy, if you don't what the fuck was he talking about? Oh, and that's why I say imagine somebody like Verb on the stand, man. That's crazy. All right, I'll answer it seriously, just in case. I don't see your answer again in here. Hold on. Yeah, I don't see it. But all right, and all serious. Yeah, here it is. I don't see you again. So I'll treat it like you're being serious and you wasn't alley-ooping that. All right. I'll take the responsibility for the alley-oop, okay? No. So I don't know who y'all think I am. I'm like a C-class celebrity. You know what a C-class? Maybe a E-class. E-class sound like a car, right? I might be like an E-class celebrity. Like, I ain't nobody in the grand scheme of this internet and this fucking. No. I get some of my recognition in the battle rap purist side of the world because I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say battle rap, hip hop purist side of the world. Because if you're into the grassroots grounds of hip hop, you are very aware and in tune of battle rap. And to do it for 10 years at the level that RBE did it at, a lot of people will come to cross paths with me on the internet or social media or whatever. Like E-class celebrity, man, right? C-class at best. You know, your A-listers are your household names and shit. It's people that you know, even if you don't follow the genre, right? I can't name you 5 Taylor Swift songs, but I know who the fuck Taylor Swift is. You see what I'm saying? Your B celebrities. I don't know. What's my definition for a B celebrity? I don't know. A Beanie Siegel? Maybe? I don't know. Somebody is very, very famous within a genre that may even have some recognition outside, but you know, there's a lot of households you ask, like, do you know Beanie Siegel? They're like, who? Like, it's just like, oh, forget it. You don't know. You're not in that side of the world. Forget it. And then you got your C-listers, which is whatever rank beneath that. And that's why I say I might be it. Nah, me and Karrine don't know each other. She don't know me. I know her. All right. She don't know who I am. And if she does, that's where it ends. I've ever shot to ask you one day because as young men, sometimes we ask each other, who's your favorite porn star, right? And there was a period where I was saying Pinky before she got super duper out of weight, right? But she was always thick, right? For a second, it was Pinky. My lord of Pinky was her bedroom game was always on 10, right? I always enjoyed her tan lines too. She made that kind of like a calling card. The tan lines that she always did. I don't know why that's always been sexy to me, tan lines. Especially when women, you know, that they're doing it on purpose, the way that Pinky was. It was always sexy to me. There's a couple things of why I chose for a time. Pinky. She a lot of people's favorite for a time, right? Who am I kidding? A lot of y'all was choosing fucking Pinky, right? And not just me. And I remember one time Shot asked me, he said, would you ever eat Pinky? You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, he didn't believe me. I was just like, nah, nigga, like never. He was like, not even, but I think I told him, even if she gave me her paperwork, I wouldn't do it. Like, let's say STD, like, I probably wouldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? Probably asked me another one, like, would you ever fuck Pinky raw? And I was just like, that's a death trap. Like, it's like, what? But I guess that story came to mind because that's how I am. You know what I mean? Like, I see past a person's celebrity. You know, like, I'll treat somebody with the accolades that they've earned and be like, oh shit, that's Shaq. And I'll send my godson to go take a picture with him and shit. I'll treat them like what they've earned and who they are. Absolutely. But there's none of that groupie level, I will do something out the norm because you are a celebrity. None of that. You know what I'm saying? So if I knew Superhead today, right? You know what? It might sound weird. I'd probably be more interested in having a conversation with her than I would fucking her. Dead serious. I wouldn't care to just step behind these 1,000 niggas with Superhead. Would curiosity kill the cat about getting some head from her? Nah, I'd be lying if I say I might not be interested. Don't go too far, ARP. But I ain't hyped to take no Superhead down. She's still attractive, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't out here thinking about her resume. I'm a type of guy too, where your resume could make me feel a little bit different, right? And it's not that you have experience, like y'all niggas be over, you know what I'm saying? Like you gotta have a little bit more confidence in yourself. Oh, if you slept 5 women, there's no number for me. There's no, I don't even be asking women, you know, what's your body count? I don't like, I got to like past once I got in my 20s, I don't even ask women that shit no more. You'd rather a woman that has sexual experience. Like, who the fuck wants a virgin or somebody don't know what they're doing? And like every woman, every man has a past, you know what I'm saying? And it's to a degree preferred. You know, hopefully it was a mature situation and everybody comes from what they come from. It is what it is. But I'm more of a guy, like, if I could look into your situation and see how it ties to your mental and your behavior and how you act and all that, and that looks gross to me, like, let's say you're a badass chick and I found out that you was in love with Averb and Averb turned you out. I'd be like, if he was able to get to you like that, then you was a fucking fool. That's a turnoff then for me. Like, I don't care how, if you a Superhead, like that turns me off then. You know what I'm saying? And Superhead got a long list of a bunch of niggas that I think is corny. You know what I'm saying? So that makes you look a little like if you was fucking on him, like it made me look at you in a way that turns me off a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It's not just, oh, your name is Karrine. I don't give once again, I don't give a fuck about your name. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? So anyway, that's a little bit more about me, but no, everybody different. Jay says, everyone knows who you are. Stop it. Thank you, Jay. Somebody put Holly Dita here. Not ARP. You are bigger than math, in my opinion. Math definitely has a high level of celebrity too. A lot of people know math, especially after MEO. Pinky can't take the D. She be whining. That's not true. You tried it. See, you're not a man, so you don't know what we know, right? One thing about Pinky is that's one thing that in my latter life of watching porn that has evolved with me as well. I don't like watching the porn stars the way I did when I was like a fucking 20-year-old and shit. Because you get experience within your own sexual life and you realize how much these people are acting. So that's like Yeah, I'm cool on that. Like the Pinkies of the world and the Diasses of the world. Like it's the overly moaning and screaming and acting like everything is on 10 and acting like you came 20 times when you only came once is a high. It's entertainment, right? The porn industry is entertainment, and a lot of those celebrity type of porn stars, they were also great actors. Not trying to say that they didn't enjoy it. Shit, I would have been in there enjoying this. Sex is sex, but there's a lot of acting going on. And so if Pinky was there giving you the impression that she can't take dick, she fooled you. She fooled you. That's the acting. People, I don't want to turn this to a porno stream. Y'all look crazy. Jada Fire, a Sky Black Vicious. Y'all look crazy. Misty Stone. I don't even remember who that is. Who's Misty Stone? Cherokee Diaz. I just mentioned her. Naomi Banks. Sarah J. Remember her. She does like more mature content because she's older. So now she's trying to cater to that demographic. Miss London. Yeah, I remember Buffy. ARP, do you remember Buffy? She was doing DVDs and all types of shit. Why you put this in here between rounds? Shit. What about fucking Karrine? Favorite PStar Convo always been weird to me, but that's just me. How old are you? I'm curious. Chin's TV, how old are you right now? A favorite porn star conversation shouldn't be weird. Now, if I'm up here and I started naming a bunch of niggas, get off my stream and you'd be like, yo, ARP's a weirdo. I'm talking about a bunch of women, B. It was weird. We all watch porn. I watched a ton of porn with women. You know what I'm saying? Even while we fucking. You know what I'm saying? Like it depends on the mode, it depends on the vibe, like whatever. Like it's nothing wrong with porn. You know what I'm saying? ARP would interview her on Sorry Shoot. Who, Karrine? Yeah, I would. Like I said, I'd be down for the conversation. Definitely. I would get at her about some of that Piers Morgan shit, but what's up, Sassy? Good to see you up in here. Beauty or Dior. Remember Isla Fox? Isla Fox had a reputation for the best head in porn for a while. That light-skinned girl, Isla Fox, I remember her. Reborn a Virgin. I ain't pulling. Yo, this porn conversation is getting kind of crazy. Teacher, that's a blank canvas. I want to get out of here and go to the gym or something. Y'all are killing me. Teacher, that's a blank canvas. So a lot of experienced men have done both. A blank canvas, there's a difference between somebody who is still in the know, in the energy of her sexuality, right? If you're very, very in tune with your sexuality and you present a blank canvas, that could be cool, right? But it takes a certain level of maturity to be that deep into your sexuality and not have a lot of experience. So, sometimes you could just feel from a woman, even in conversation, right? Or even the way they move and their mannerisms, how sexually natured they might be, right? So if you're teaching that woman, this is how I prefer you to give me head, or I like when you move like this, or you know what I'm saying? Like that is a blank canvas that I think a lot of men would enjoy. But there's the other type of blank canvas, like a flat out not in touch with your sexuality, not in touch with your sexual nature, and you're just stiff walking around like, how do you give head? You know what I'm saying? Like a man is gonna be turned off by that. And if he does remain with her, you know what I mean? Like how long before he starts with the freaky chick down the street that does all of that shit that without even asking, she understands, and you gotta come, you know what I mean? So how much you are in tune with your sexuality, as a woman will determine how treating of a blank canvas that would be, very different, very different, very different. But then there is another layer too, not a layer, a whole different conversation of just teaching each other what your likes are. You have two very experienced people, right? Sexually. Right. But what I like is not something that you've been doing or vice versa. Go ask Diddy. And Diddy grabbed Jane and Cassie and taught them a whole bunch of shit that they never seen before. Doesn't Kanye have a song about Yeezy taught me while he's dissing like Kim Kardashian and shit? Kim Kardashian got a resume like this. She's been with a lot of niggas before Kanye. But maybe he got into some freaky shit that she never did before, and then he does a song. Yeezy told, right? Allegedly? You want me to say that? All right. He said, yo, when I DM her earlier, you said that was really me trying to slide. You are funny, Mojo. That's funny. That is funny. Let me try to get to the bottom. Why is this chat going on fire now that we're having a porno sexuality conversation? What's wrong with you, you freaks, on a Wednesday morning? It's not even 8 a.m. yet. Yes, please listen till you try to misspell your any words that could be edgy, just from a YouTube standpoint, and so you don't get words don't get blocked automatically and shit like that. What is this? Yep, hosted shows with Daz, Pinky, Roxy. I remember Roxy Reynolds. I remember Roxy. All right, we ain't gonna do this. I'm getting the fuck up out of here. Now I'm gonna have to create a whole chapter timestamped here that's gonna say like PStar Conversation. What is wrong with us? All right, enjoy the rest of y'all day.
Don't confuse silence with work ethic. I'm a boss making decisions, my first fetish. The verse cherished is perfect, that's a reverse blemish. I dropped it, connected the block, learn Tetris.
This is the Sorry True Podcast. Welcome to the house up. And shout out to the members.
Without my thing, still got a gun.